workflow. It's about your efficiency. And again, all these different factors. Another example, I was doing some traveling and I went to one manufacturer on laser and I asked about, well, when would you use something else? And she said, well, I only use laser. Okay. And then in that same trip, I went to a manufacturer of shockwave and I said, when would you use something else? She said, well, I only use shockwave. And like you gotta, appreciate a commitment to something. But I think that, you know, can close mind us a little bit in terms of when something new comes out. It doesn't mean we need to run, and just gravitate towards the new shiniest thing that comes out. But the funny thing is, like both shockwave and laser, they've been around for a while. They're a little bit newer, obviously, in this country than when I was in Europe. Pickleball, I'm going to save till the end because that seems to be one of my common themes in all of my presentations lately because it's an interesting thing to talk about, think about, and work with. So Monday morning take home, and again, obviously, I'm talking about treatment modalities, and that can include manipulation, adjustments, all the way to laser, shockwave, and whatever. Um, but what's important is, sort of that commitment. So knowing how it works, knowing that it does work and why it works. And that's part of that implementation. And I just remind people that that's not enough, right? Where think about, the other things that you're already implementing in clinical practice and what seems to bring people back. Like that doesn't change. Like we need to make sure that we're committed to something. And again, one of the recent conversations was the clinician reached out to me after reading one of my articles and was, sort of asking about, am I a bad person because I'm trying to, do some of these other therapies that are costing out of pocket expense to the patient, and my staff is thinking, that I'm just trying to get money. And I'm like, well, no. And I said, potentially, that has to be a deeper conversation to whatever it is that you're doing, because they're really our first line. Like if you're the clinician, I'm sorry to say, but you are not the person that everyone is coming in to see as much as we think they are. And statistics show it's really your staff, especially the front office and how they're communicated with and their satisfaction and following up and things like that. So